So today I am here with Amber Yakutchik, who is the founder of Good Deeds, which is a new social platform that we're going to discuss all about today. I think it's really exciting and innovative, so I'm excited to learn more about. But before we dive into all that, do you want to just take a second to introduce who you are and maybe give some of your background?
Absolutely. So my name is Amber Yakutchik, founder and CEO of Good Deeds. My background is in healthcare, so I've spent about 18 to 20 years in the healthcare field in Canada, primarily in business development, working with CEOs of different hospitals to find solutions, whether it's digital solutions or more of a process planning and things like that. How to help them with that. By outsourcing some services. So that's kind of my background. Also have a background in film and television, so which is totally unrelated, but it does give me the experience of working with different groups and managing big projects, and I loved it. My passion kind of moved forward to more community good, social good, doing good in our community, but also, helping patients, through the hospital as well.
Yeah, so I guess given all that background and kind of the work that you were doing, how did you make the shift into wanting to create a platform such as Good Deeds, and I guess some of the inspiration behind the idea?
Absolutely. Great question. It was really, the need from the community. So in healthcare, as you know, we're strapped for resources. We do not have a community-based program. We have some that are kind of integrating into more home care. But really, that is where or at least the healthcare industry in Canada is trying to move towards, more community-based support. So this is where I felt that it was a great opportunity for Good Deeds was, having people that are in communities donate and help other people in the community that require additional support. It's very expensive to pay for it. So really looking at this bartering, trading of goods and services to help out those that can't afford it. So as you know, a lot of health benefits, and we'll get to that, but it's such a great way to give back, feel better, and get rewarded for it.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's such a unique idea, because obviously, you have Facebook Marketplace, you have Etsy, you have all these things that you can purchase and kind of put your stuff up for sale, but there's nothing that I've seen quite like the platform that you're offering. So I guess diving a little bit deeper into what Good Deeds actually is, can you explain how the platform works and what kind of impact you hope it'll actually have on the community?
Absolutely. So it is online right now. It's only an online web application per se. We are looking at building a mobile ready platform that's downloadable. We're still about 6 months away from that. Because it's such a new idea, we really wanted to make sure we capture the intent of how people are using the application, get user feedback on what they would like to see in the next version, and then really develop it for the user bases that we have. But it is a free, non-monetized application where people can donate whatever they want, whether it's goods, services. And goods can be anywhere from furniture for students that are going away to college or university, or this is the demographic that we've kind of pegged as a younger demographic that doesn't really have a lot of stuff, and marry that with the folks that do have too much of stuff that we want to give away. So over 30, over 40, that really accumulated a lot of stuff that they want to donate and help somebody that's coming up in the ranks. Same with services, looking at a good way to provide beauty and care. It's such a huge market these days. Getting eyelashes done, nails, massages, all of those things. People obviously need to make a living. So it's really just trying to promote their brand and saying, hey, we do a little bit of good, we give back, and this is my business platform, and help generate at least their business from doing some good. But then we also have the older demographic that wants to mentor younger people. So it's a good balance of this platform is really for anybody that wants to donate, give back, help out people in their community, because there really wasn't a platform out there that could actually facilitate this. And it's safe and it's secure, one-on-one messaging, all the different aspects to our platform is really making it a safe and secure place to exchange these items and services.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess just walking through an example, like if I were to get rid of this desk that I'm sitting at and I wanted to put it up on the platform, how would I go about that, and kind of what would be the return process?
Absolutely. So signing up is the very first thing to do. So once you sign up for an account and you build a profile, so telling people, a little bit about yourself and why you're on the site and what you're hoping to get back from it, putting in your location. So it's really just what city you're in. There's no kind of identifiers as to what your location is, but it gives a proximity of where you are. So if you're searching for items and you don't have a car, you wouldn't want to, obviously search too far out of your pickup area. But we're also hoping that there's going to be enough users that maybe there's some drivers that want to donate some of their time to pick up and deliver items for folks. So we're also looking at, once it expands, that this could be a full circle type of solution for folks. So once you've created your profile, simply like any other marketplace, take a picture of the item or upload a picture of the service, and just talk about your experience level. Give a bit of a description as to what it is. If it's an item, the quality of the item. So if it's in poor condition or great condition, obviously more pictures that you show will give people a better understanding of what it is that they're getting in return. And then a credit value. So assigning a value to that item or service based on, typically we like to go to Google for any sort of markers into what you should place as a value to a good or service. So that's typically what I try to let people know is, go online, Google the same item or service, and try to get a gauge as to, what other people are charging for that, and then use that as your starting point for credit. So you put in your credit, you post the item, and once somebody's ready to communicate with you and actually go through the flow of requesting that good or service, then there's a contact button at the bottom of the listing, and then they get into a communication with the user to say when they pick it up. Hold the item, because there is a pending process. So once you say, yes, I'm going to pick this up, you transfer your credits and it goes into a holding state until something happens, whether you cancel it or whether it's completed. It actually tracks the flow more so than most other marketplace applications. They don't really have that, security and, I promised I was going to pick it up, but then didn't show up. So then that person really was left, with this item that they wanted to get rid of. And now they have to go on again and try to find somebody else to pick it up. So it really holds everybody's feet to the fire as to, what that transaction looks like, and making sure people are saying what they're doing and doing what they're saying. And then at the very end, there's a rating and review. So everybody from both sides gets to rate and review that user. So it really, again, is just make sure that everybody is doing what they're saying that they're doing.
I love that. And it's so unique in the fact that it's credits and not money. So kind of how did you get to that idea? Why did you decide to go with credits as opposed to charging people?
Well, exactly. So I wanted to make a marketplace where people can donate. So everybody wants to help out, especially during COVID. It was, people wanted to help out. They wanted to go help their neighbors and do things. But there is a part of volunteerism and donating that when somebody goes through that and they get taken advantage of, they stop doing it. So this is really, the credit system is really just to make sure that you're giving as much as you're receiving. So there's nobody's being taken advantage of. Everybody's reaping the rewards of the system. And again, the more you do, the more you get back. So it's really enforcing that process and that way of thinking. We really want it to be a kind and generous giving platform. So in doing that, we have to make sure there's absolutely no money exchanged on the side, anything like that. That's not what this platform is really meant to do.
Awesome. And in terms of people who are offering services, is it similar to putting up a product? You just kind of list your service instead, and then people can redeem that lash appointment for their credits, for example?
Absolutely. Exact same way.
Awesome. That's so unique. And especially that there is services as in addition to the products, because you don't really see that offered anywhere. And it's great for small businesses or people who, I think a lot of people did kind of get those little certifications throughout the pandemic, especially. So it's great to put their name out there and try to get another avenue for doing the work that they do.
Absolutely. And there's even a virtual items and services. Well, not maybe so much items, but services. So we've been doing a lot of stuff online and even trying to, build our businesses and portfolio, like graphic designers and things like that, developers or whatnot. So having the ability to really just extend the virtual realm to this as well is so important for making sure that we're kind of in tune with what the future holds.
For sure. And you did mention kindness and how important that is. So I guess from you as the founder perspective, why do you personally believe in the power of kindness?
Well, there's been a lot of scientific studies around giving back and donating and volunteerism. It's actually part of what the Canadian health system deems as should be a part of your everyday routine or your life to enhance or at least reap the benefits and rewards of doing good for others. So of course there's the reducing stress is one of the things that scientifically it does to people. So it's even in the endorphins that happen once you give something to somebody. So think of the last time you had a thoughtful gift and you gave it to somebody, how that made you feel. Those are the types of chemicals that happen in the brain that actually decrease stress, make you happier, make you feel more fulfilled in life. So there's so many wonderful health benefits to making a kinder world and living in a kinder world. And our platform is really trying to force everybody to do more kindness. And once you do, it's infectious. So once you do it once you do it twice, and you know that what you're doing is making a difference in your community or making a difference in somebody else's life, it really is infectious. You want to keep doing it. You want to do more. And it's going to make you happy, live longer, reduce stress. I mean, there's so many great health benefits, but also for your in our future versions, we're looking at ways to gamify it and, put some sort of token badges of honor and things like that so that you can put that on your LinkedIn profile to say you do good in your community, and it's setting yourself apart from other candidates for job positions and things like that. So, it's really important for people to see that the people that they're working with also have a same mind for giving back and doing good in the community.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting and I guess slightly controversial as well, because when you do good, it's not always for your own. You don't need to brag about it or post it anywhere. But I think the more we talk about it, even if we do share that I did a kind act, that in itself is infectious. And somebody else will see that and say, maybe I should do a similar kind act, whether it's just I always say like paying for the person behind you in the drive-through if you have extra
Correct.
money on you, things like that. And those are not necessarily things that you do for recognition,
Yeah.
but talking about it and spreading that kindness is something that really does go such a long way. So I think those badges that you can add to LinkedIn is definitely a great idea.
Absolutely. Another aspect of it is understanding that in our communities, 80% of the ones that really need help and support don't ever ask for it. So the ones that we see that are very visible in our communities that require additional support are one thing, but it's really a lot of the folks in our communities are suffering and can't afford to live with the high cost of living that we have today. Some aren't as fortunate. So it's really tapping into that community as well and giving them the support.
Nice. And you mentioned some of the mental health benefits associated with it. And I know one of your mottos is the do good, feel good. So what is like the actual relationship, I guess, between doing good deeds, being kind, and one's mental health?
So it really is a scientific. There has been various scientific studies that have happened that have taken place over the last, I would say, 10 years. 2012 is probably the last huge study that was done. And whether you're doing it through a system where you're reaping reward of a credit to then get something for it. So there's altruistic and non-altruistic ways of giving back. They said the effects on the brain are exactly the same. So you actually get the same feeling of I'm helping somebody out, and feeling good and better about yourself, and reaping the health benefits of that, as well as, if you did it without any recognition, without any, you just help somebody out on the street kind of thing.
That's a really fascinating one as well, because when you were talking, I was just thinking of like, my family, we are big donators. Like if we don't need something, we'll bring it to Goodwill. Whether we put it on another platform or whatever, we're doing that. But when we give it to Goodwill or something, we don't see who gets it or where it goes. Who knows if it actually makes it to someone. And like you said, we like feel good about doing it, but there's no real, I guess, tangible thing to go off of. So it would be great to kind of get that reward, not necessarily for yourself. You can even use it for someone else. I think you can also donate credits in the platform. Correct. So there are just so many ways to continue that string of kindness, and even sometimes doing things for yourself, whether you use that for your own service, like that's good for your own mental health as well. So there's nothing wrong with kind of getting that altruistic motivation as well.
Exactly. You've got
it. And I guess just like you mentioned a little bit about your 6-month plan with the app, but what are your long-term goals with this platform? What do you hope that it can really achieve in our community?
Well, I definitely think that, I'm hoping that once we get a little bit more traction and user base, that we will really find out the power of this tool. I'm always working every day at trying to get new charities on board, because I really believe that if we had a lot of charities and charitable, community providers and helping us bridge that gap in between the people that need something with, the folks that really want to give back and see their generous donations kind of go through the flow of helping and support it and the impact that we could make. So I really want to start with the charitable partners, try to find some key metrics and things like that we're trying to actually measure, so that we can see the impact that we're doing. So that's kind of we want to make sure that, anywhere that we operate, that we can show and demonstrate the impact of our platform on the communities. I really believe that this platform will be global. I've been talking to folks in India, which is, of course, a huge underserved population. And, they are willing to put a lot of investment and time in trying to, synergize and make these partnerships so that they can also help people navigate the giving and receiving without money. So it's really all those countries that are underserved are really the prime folks that we want to kind of tackle. But living in Canada, we wanted to start here. We have a lot of folks that need a lot of support and help. So So seeing how people want to use it, or seeing how users interact with it, is really going to give us an understanding of how we build that next version, and what pieces to integrate with it as well. So gamification, and making it a little bit, it's a younger generation that are using applications these days. So it's starting with one demographic and then trying to build in, older demographics as we build that out.
Yeah,
So we
that's
do believe
awesome.
it
And
will
I
be
like how you do have that.
Sorry, it will be like a global application.
Okay.
So we'll start North America wide, and then we'll start tapping into other countries and other languages, of course, to support that.
Yeah, it's awesome that you're kind of taking that global focus, but then kind of relating back to something you said at the beginning. I think just post-secondary students can really, really benefit from this. People moving into new apartments, moving out, people are constantly like struggling to, whether it's affording these new things or even just finding something that they like. And I think looking at similar furniture or things within their community of people of similar age and interest can be such an easier process of actually obtaining those items or services, again, whatever it is. And it's great that like you want to focus on those underserved communities or countries, because I think it is more difficult for them to get those things. But like you said, it does also happen here and can be a huge benefit for so many people who don't have those resources.
Yeah, and considering that, there's over 8 billion mobile smartphones out there in the world, you really can tap into every population with that, knowing that everybody's hooked up, everybody's connected in some way, and they could benefit from it. It's that easy.
Mm-hmm. And I think the receiving aspect really does help with that, because again, like we said, when you kind of get that in return, you're more motivated to keep doing it. And then just word of mouth as well. You can say like, I sold this thing and I got credits, and then I got something else that I was really interested in. So just continuously talking about how doing something good can be really good for yourself, for other people, for the community. It really does go such a long way.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did just want to acknowledge you for coming up with such a great idea. Like, this is honestly, I really do believe in it. And that's why I agreed to kind of have you guys on. I think it is just so unique in its approach because, like we've said, nobody's really ever done this from my knowledge. So it's an awesome platform to launch, and hopefully it will just continue to keep growing because it will have that positive impact out in society.
Absolutely. That's what we're trying to do. And I believe we're also giving your viewers 50 free credits on the platform. So everybody that signs up for the platform gets 500 free credits. It's kind of our way to say, hey, start using it, start seeing what's on there, start posting items. It's just our way of kind of initiating the donation aspect of it. So an extra 50 credits is like an extra $50. So, enjoy, start giving, happy giving. It's really our mantra.
Amazing. And I guess just wrapping up, if you mentioned like signing up for a profile, but if you can just give everyone steps, where to go, what to actually do, and how they can get started on the platform, that way we can get the good deeds rolling.
Absolutely. So it's mobile ready, which means you can go on your either mobile phone, tablets, Android. So it's really any platform. It's just gooddeeds.ca. So once you go to gooddeeds.ca, you sign up, create your profile, and start giving right away. Very easy. Very
amazing.
We try to minimize all the steps to make things difficult for people to start giving.
Nice. And it's just like a browsing site, same as every other platform. You can search for things, kind of narrow down your filters, things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So all the filters, and your location filters, even credit filters. So if you only have 60 credits left and you want to see what you can get off the platform, type in that, or it's kind of like a little bar. You just navigate on how many credits, and then everything will populate for you.
Nice. And sorry, one more question did just come up in my mind. If you're not doing something local and you're maybe shipping something to someone from far away, how does that process work? Do you ship it yourself, or is it mainly just for people in close proximity?
It's mainly for people that are trying to really help out community. So it's usually localized. But of course, if there's something that you see from somewhere else that's far away and you want that item and willing to pay for that, to the shipping of that item, then it's just a communication with that person to ship it and how much that costs. I think they would probably, if you have an account, it's really just, drop it off at this area and then the shipping. But we're hoping that we do have we're trying to look at a partnership with a company. It's actually called ileftmystuff.com. It's really primarily for people that like stay in hotels and they forget something there and they travel home and they want that item shipped back. What it does is it allows you to pay for that shipping based on the location, and it prints up a waybill on the other end. So that person would print up a waybill and just affix it to the item and ship it. So we're looking at a partnership with them as well.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I'm sure as you continue to secure different partnerships, it's just going to continue to grow in various ways and make it much more, I guess, user-friendly, even though it already is, but just to really expand that community aspect.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Amber, this has been amazing. I'm so glad we got the chance to connect. And like I said, this platform is absolutely incredible. So I wish you all the best. And I will be giving my listeners the code in the end of this episode. So definitely stay tuned for that. But with that being said, thank you so much for taking time and for everything you're doing to try to create more positive and kindness actions in the world.
Thank you, Angelica. Thank you.